for joining joining us on those points, especially on the insurance side as well. Important points there coming in. Thank you for that. We also have with us ASHWIN PAREKH there. ASHWIN, thank you for joining us. News coming in at this point in time on the HDFC Bank's proposal being cleared by FIPB, but HDFC's stake in HDFC Bank being termed as foreign investment. Your thoughts on this? A positive move right now for HDFC, isn't it?
A positive move. I mean, I would say, if we go into the technicality a little, what is on hand, the question that is on hand is whether the 22.56% of equity in HDFC Bank, which is being held by HDFC Limited, is considered, or a proportion of that is considered as foreign investment. Personally, I mean, I would say that if HDFC Limited, I'm sure is an Indian company, registered and working in India, then on a case-to-case basis, I mean, I wouldn't say that there is any need for us to make a policy amendment, but on a case-to-case basis, if we are convinced that the order of governance at the two institutions, is not influencing each other, if we do believe that HDFC Bank on its own has its own effective governance framework, I mean a very sound framework, and its own way of managing, and which it has done in fact, and it's really held by the investors with such a huge amount of awe and respect, then I suppose on a case basis, rather than treating it as a policy decision for all times to come, this looks to me like a very progressive decision, and I believe sooner than later, even the regulator, after examining all the facts once again on a case-to-case basis, may perhaps opine accordingly.
Right. ASHWIN, interesting point there that we don't have to look at this as a policy within the policy framework, but really on a case-to-case basis. Do you not see any ripple effect of this coming in at this point in time in the banking sector? Aren't there other cases which will probably now have to relook and readjust what their foreign holding looks like?
Well, to begin with, there are only, to my mind, I mean, as we see now, just about 2 or 3 more organizations who over the next sort of some years may, require once again a fresh examination or on a case-to-case basis once again an evaluation. But we are not talking about, opening up something, I mean, or floodgates, or we're not talking about so many applications coming in the banking sector with this kind of proposals. I mean, we don't have institutions of the size and of the stature that we're talking about over here. So I suppose if it is dealt with on a case-to-case basis, as an individual case, as a unique case, then I suppose thinking becomes a little more clearer, I suppose.
Right. ASHWIN, just one more question. The breakup, of course, at this point in time is FII's holding is about 33.93% in HDFC Bank, and foreign institutional, foreign investment through ADRs and GDRs is about at 16.90%. How do you see this playing out in terms of the adjustment that now HDFC Bank will have to do in order to not breach that 74% limit?
Well, I mean, to my mind, sub-limits is one thing, but apart from that, we're talking about something in principle. I mean, an in-principle discussion is 22.56% of equity of HDFC Limited in HDFC Bank. Now, if that is treated as Indian equity, then I suppose things work out quite well. I mean, on a case-to-case basis, once again, I'm not suggesting that for all times to come the banking regulator may exercise, a similar approach. But on this particular case, since it's a little unique and a very constructive one and a positive one, and then of course getting a note from FIPB should only encourage, I suppose, us to believe that the regulator may also take a similar view.
Right, Ashwin Parekh from Advisory Services there. Thank you so much for joining us with your perspective. Ashwin, there you heard it from the experts there. Positive news definitely for HDFC coming in. Long awaited for them to be able to raise that money. And of course, when the stock opens on Monday, it looks like a green thumbs up sign. At this point in time, we'll have to wait and watch on which way RBI decides.
Absolutely. Thanks for that, Mahek Speaker, joining us from New Delhi with all that exclusive information coming our way. Time now for a quick break, but Political Capital comes to you after this short break where we have India's new Defence Minister Manohar Parrikar talking to Siddharth Zirabi. Back with you in a few minutes. Stay with us.